Are we on? We're not live yet. We're live? Yes, we're live. Okay, welcome to Living by Oak Value. So I attempted to do TikTok and it didn't work. I am not TikTok computer savvy. So anyway, welcome to Living by Oak Values. And I want to welcome my friend, my co-host, AJ tonight. And we're going to be talking about integrity. What do you got, AJ?
Well, my integrity for today would have been church this morning. So this morning, my pain was at a very intense level. I had a very rough night full of flashback dreams. I was a mess when I get up, more or less. But as bad as my pain was, even though I had two suggestions, maybe you should go home, if the pain's too much. That's not the answer for me. That goes against my values. So regardless of how bad it hurts, whether it's mental or it's physical, that doesn't change my values or making sure that I stay on track.
Okay. So your value is, or your standard is that you go to church.
Well, no,
And
my
go ahead.
standard is that I show up no matter what.
Okay. So you were in pain and you still showed up because you said you would be there.
Right.
So, and that is integrity. Integrity is doing the things that doing the hard things when no one's looking. My first I guess my first thing of integrity that I learned through this work was when I had a coach back in the day, he had said, always return the shopping cart to where it goes when you're grocery shopping. Even if it's midnight, if it's snowing, if it's raining, if there's nobody around, and you can just toss that cart, walk it back to where it goes. And I didn't quite get that. I was like, okay, that's easy enough. And those times, especially living up in New England where it's 5 degrees or less, and you were like, I don't really want to walk all the way back over there and put this away. But integrity, my integrity says that, or my coach told me to have the integrity to put that back. And I eventually adapted that. I need to do the things that I don't really want to do, or the things that I say I'm going to do. I need to do them no matter what.
Yep.
So,
Absolutely agree. And integrity is not something that's done out loud. It's not something that it's not something that other people need to see, like you said, right? So when you're all by yourself and nobody else is around and nobody's watching, do you still stand by the same exact values that you do when everybody is standing there and watching? Or do you change them?
okay. So, can you think of a time in your life when you tried to appear like you were doing something that you weren't really doing to make people think better of you or think differently of you?
Yeah, Jesus, it's funny. I was literally just thinking about this, and now my mind's drawing a blank. But there's been plenty of times, especially I guess in the beginning after I first got injured, um, I tried to still make it look like nothing had changed in my life, that I was no different. I was still going to show up. I was going to muscle through it, and I tried to kind of fake that aspect, which is not reality.
But why did you try to fake it?
I think I was just so used to um, not really having values and not really being grounded. I didn't really have a good understanding of values, and I didn't really live by them. The only value I really lived by was that I was a hard worker that took care of my family. Um, so if I wasn't showing that, what was I anymore?
I don't know, because I think there's still times where I'm in pain and nobody has to know.
Well,
And
absolutely,
I
absolutely.
don't think that lessens my integrity. I just think that I don't want to burden my daughter when something hurts.
Well, it's something that I battled with. I mean, we've talked about that in the past. I battled with that really bad. in the beginning. At first, it was just about keeping quiet, um, and then I couldn't shut up about it. The pain was so bad, I screamed it from the rooftops. You know, pain drove me crazy. The nightmares drove me crazy. The fact that I couldn't be outside of the house and see a sign or a crane. I mean, it still happens, but yeah, I keep that in, and I do my absolute best to still show up. So if I have to get one of my kids to drive me because there's nobody else, then that's what I have to do. But
Okay.
yeah,
Excellent.
well, like
So,
you, I mean, you
good.
still show up for work, right? You show up for work no matter what,
Mm,
even when you're
mm,
sick.
mm, sometime.
You do.
I have sick days I use and other things, but yeah, for the most part, I show up when I should. Most part. Um, so I think I know actually when I first realized that I needed to have integrity, and integrity is such a crazy road for me because it's when you realize that you need alignment over approval. And back to faking things. There were plenty of times back in the military or just hanging out with the guys where I would be, some girl would come walking down the street and we'd have the hood open and I'd slap some grease on me and pick up a wrench like I know what I'm doing. And yeah, I don't know anything about cars. I can put gas in them and that's about it. I can put air in my flat tire and I can sometimes start it. So, but there are so many times where not so many, but as a young man that I would, try to put on a show to impress people. And I think that comes from having a brother and two sisters where there was always competition to be better, or to be noticed, I'd say.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
do you have anything like that that you can compare to?
that's so yeah. When I was having my first son,
Mhm.
um, I'll never forget what the nurse said to my ex-wife. She said, it's time to deliver. Um, you should have your little brother go sit in the hallway." And she was talking about me. Uh, I'd say from that point on, it became really important to me to work my butt off to the full extent to make sure that everybody thought that I was a grown man and I was I was just as good as a 30 or 40-year-old father at 15 years old.
Mhm.
You know, I had to put that face on, or I felt like I had to put that face on for everybody. I'm a man. I'm a great father. I was a kid,
Mhm.
and it was
So,
exhausting.
on that note, I want to take one step back because I just realized how to do the comments on here. Again, I'm
Oh yeah,
slow.
yeah.
So, Joel says that's why I don't get mail. So if you talk to Cliff, Joel, you'll know that I am a mailman of integrity. I deliver the packages where they go when I show up for work. So we'll leave it at that. But I have nothing to do with you not getting mail. That's probably some kid who doesn't have any integrity. Anyway, what was I just gonna say before that? No notes sometimes sucks.
It's all right. That's why you just stay on script. You found the notes.
I don't
You
have
get
notes.
on there too. No, no, I mean the messages. Like Cliff
Oh,
said, doing the right
gotcha.
thing
Yep.
even when no one is watching. That's who you
So
really are.
Cliff has sent me a message earlier saying that he had a friend at work and they got their mail, I guess, but they had a package that didn't fit in the mailbox, and the mailman refused to deliver it to the steps or the
Wow.
front door. So they left a notice and took it back to the office. And he had asked me if that was policy. I said, absolutely not. Yeah, I would never do that.
That's
So,
that's laziness. Yeah, I
so
agree, Joel. It's much better to be unscripted.
you can see the notes. I mean, the chat.
Yep.
Oh,
Now that I have the actual app, yeah,
excellent.
yeah.
But you can't change your whatever.
No, I figured out a lot of it, but we had
Okay,
just gone, so it wasn't
cool.
time to
Whatever.
fix it.
Whatever.
But
Working out the kinks.
how you
Excellent.
doing, guys? How you doing, Matt? It's her life. What's going on, brother?
You're never late, brother. You're here. That's awesome. I love it.
You showed up. So
Yes. So a lot of integrity. Oh, that's what I was getting at with being. You said talking about being a parent. So I had a discussion the other day with someone where they were saying that they needed to tell their kid how to do something, but yet they were doing something totally different. And I was like, kids learn from watching. So you have to walk that. And this is with everything you do, integrity, everything you do in life. Everybody's watching. They're not listening.
That's
You can say that I do this and I do that, but if I do something else, that's what they see. They see you doing the different thing and they don't listen to you. So you have to walk the walk and talk the talk, I guess, kind of goes together. But if you say you're doing this, or that you should, if I tell you that you should that you should go to church every week, then I should be there every week as well.
absolutely.
And I am.
You got to practice what you preach.
Exactly. Practice what you preach. Preach. Yes.
You got it. But it's just like this. If you present yourself, here's the podcast is perfect, right? We present ourselves. We talk about church every Sunday. We go to church every week. We talk about reading the Bible. But if I come home and I don't actually read the Bible like I say I do, and I'm just remembering notes from church, and I'm using that for our conversations, and that's not integrity, right? It's kind of faking it right there, right? So
Mm-hmm.
another perfect example. I mean, I've gone over that book that we talked about a few weeks ago. I went on to actually start reading the book for a third time.
Which book are we talking about?
Hold On to Your Nuts.
Gotcha. Okay.
I had got on and started to read that for a third time, and I'm like, all right, I don't need to read this a third time. I actually have this all in my mind. Speaking of which, to throw it out there, Joel, I am happily about to be the owner of your hard copy book, which Gary has, May December End by Joel Rosario. And I also just purchased last night the Kindle version, which I started to read, but unfortunately I was falling asleep. But it's amazing what I read so far, and I'm really looking forward to diving into it, brother.
Truly excellent book. It is, unfortunately. Oh, crap. That was loud. Not the best book I've read this year. It was probably the best book I read last year.
There you go.
I
Did you read something new this year?
Yes. So speaking of something new this year, I got this book. Speaking of integrity, A Man of Honor: 100 Devotions for a Life of Integrity. So every day I got a little blurb on how to live my life more aligned with God and with integrity.
That's by Josh Mosey.
Yes.
In case
Yes, it
anyone
is.
didn't see that. It's great. It's great. Just what I've read so far. I'm excited about diving into this book as well.
Yep. So, and Sir to Life, he reads every day. I think if he puts it in the chat, I'll see it. But I know he said he reads like a chapter or a sentence or something every day from like 1,000 different books or something. Not really 1,000, but
Wow.
yeah. But I've been reading. I now have 4 books that I read every morning, and they're devotional books. So I read one page along with the Bible. I read one page from each of these books every single morning. So
That's awesome.
along with my,
You do not put anybody to sleep, brother.
what was that?
Joel, he wrote, all good. I usually put people to sleep. I says, you do not put people to sleep, brother. Not
Although
at all.
I'm going to tell you, Joel, if you did an audiobook, I could sleep to your voice. I could. You could do a guided meditation for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah,
So
that should be your next book, brother. Right there. Doing audible.
may the night end. As Sort of Life, he reads a page from 7 different books every day.
Wow.
So now I have to go get 2 more books to catch up to. That's whatever. I'll do it.
I got 1, 2, 3, 4. I got 5 here just in front of me alone. I just got to add 2 more to it. I'm gonna try that, brother.
We're gonna get there. We're gonna beat this guy. So I was trying to get us on. We're on Facebook and YouTube. I was trying to get on TikTok, and I failed tonight. But I was challenged by Cliff to go live for the next 14 days. I accepted because what movie is that? We don't call him chicken.
Hmm?
There's a movie where someone said Back to the Future.
Don't call him chicken.
Yeah, Marty says no one calls me chicken, and he fights or whatever. So you challenge me,
Oh,
I'm probably gonna accept the challenge as long as it's not nothing that'll kill me. Anyway, so I'm gonna be going live for the next 14 days straight, with the exceptions of Thursday for the men's group and next Sunday for the podcast. I will try to get something in there, so that it is 14 days straight, so that I can follow through. But I might have to skip those 2 days. And that should hopefully allow me to add TikTok to the streaming part of Riverside.
yeah.
Yes, you
Yeah.
calling me Yeller. Yes, I think that's what it was. No, that's not what that's what Biff said. Now I gotta watch the movie. And I hate watching movies.
That's amazing memory. That's amazing memory.
Right now we are doing what platforms are you doing live? Right now I'm on TikTok. No, I'm sorry, I'm on YouTube and Facebook. And I'm trying to get TikTok to work with this, but I have to prove that I can go live without breaking the rules. So I'm gonna do 14 days straight on my iPad, and hopefully that will allow me to add it to Riverside. But I use Riverside as the main, whatever you want to call that.
Yeah.
So, so the other day we were talking about back to integrity. We were talking about apologizing. Remember that?
Yep.
And I said that if I apologize to you, and I want to say I got this from Matthew McConaughey, where he said, if I apologize to you, my first order of business is to change me, to change my ways so that I no longer will upset you. So if I say, I'm sorry for doing this and you forgive me, then I need to change whatever I'm doing so that I no longer have to say, I'm sorry again. I have changed my ways. And that's
What's
part of,
apology? It's words. It's words until you put
yes,
action to it.
yes. If I could say sorry all day long, and a lot of kids do it. You know, my daughter says, I'm sorry all the time. And they go right back to where they were. And I think a lot of people, when they say sorry, it's I'm sorry I got caught, or I'm sorry that you're hurt. I'm
Yep.
not sorry for what I did. So
Yep.
if I'm truly sorry for what I did, not whether I'm hurt, you're hurt, or your feelings, if I'm sorry for what I did, then I need to change my ways so that I am not doing that anymore. Because it's about me.
Yeah. No, it's like the conversation we were having yesterday when I was on the way home. Joel, I'll help you out, brother. You've helped me out. I'd be more than happy to help you with what I know so far of Riverside. Um,
You guys
it's
are gonna
like
know
I
more
was
than me by tomorrow.
I don't think it's always that's the case when it comes to apologizing. Uh, because I've thought a lot about it. I've really tried to analyze after I got injured. Um, the pain was overwhelming, and when the depression hit, and anxiety, and the whole PTSD aspect started slamming me all the time, I would hear my wife and I'd hear what she was saying to me and how bad I was affecting her and how negative I was being, and that she sees it affecting not just her, but the kids, friends, everybody. I was genuinely sorry in that moment. I felt terrible hearing what I was hearing. So I was very sorry for that action. And I would work with that and try to keep that in my memory bank for days. But then, whether or not it's the medication or it's the PTSD, I'm not sure. Uh, or maybe it's just my memory in general. But after about a week or two, according to her, anyways, I would always slip right back in to those circumstances, whatever those situations were that I was creating. And it wasn't because I wasn't genuinely sorry or I wasn't trying to put the work in. Life got in the way. My life just happened to be pain and PTSD.
Mhm.
But the more that I I worked with you and I worked with Rob and I worked with my values and I just embedded it and lived it every day and stopped worrying about the TV or focusing on my pain all day long. I had to really sit down and really figure out who I was. And once I did, then it actually gave me those values to actually realize that I'm sorry is a useless statement. It really is. It's a useless statement. And I understand I will still always use it. But
Yep. It's
after,
useless if you don't know what it means.
yeah, yeah,
So if you're sorry for just because you think it's the right thing to say, that's like saying I love you because she said I love you to you.
right, right.
So,
It does
um,
take time and effort,
yeah,
brother.
if it
You're right.
comes from the heart and you know why you're sorry, and that reason has to be for what you've done, not for how they feel, not for getting caught, but for how you truly feel, then you can, at that point, change who you are to move forward.
I agree.
And it only took me 46 years to figure that out. So
It's all
I'm
right.
I'm a year strong. So
Yeah, you're right, Matthew. Talk is cheap.
Sir Life, what did you do that you had to apologize? I wonder if how long. I wonder if there's a lag on the comments.
What?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Well,
while we're waiting on that answer, do you guys know anybody out there, whoever sees this in Facebook world or whatever, if you guys are going through a divorce, going through any kind of trauma, or just rebuilding your life, go to North Band Coaching and sign up for your free 60-minute discovery call and check out my book. The first 30 days, it's if you're going through divorce, not really a rebuild, but if you're going through divorce and you want to know how to respond to everything going on, which I know that is one of the most traumatic things a man will go through in his life. And
sure
I
is.
hope that nobody else has to go through that. But if you're going through it and you need to know how to respond, grab that book. It's on northmancoaching.com.
Yep. Yep. Northman Coaching serves. It serves for a lot. It served me from. It served me going through the beginning of my trauma. After my accident, I know we've had a lot of men from different angles, not just divorce, um, but a lot of different traumatic life situations. Just wanting to better yourself as a man. It's an unbelievable feeling to know the difference between true masculinity and toxic masculinity.
Mm.
And Northman Coaching will definitely teach you the difference and give you the tools and walk with you to teach you how to understand that and live a better life.
So, not to throw you on the spot, but can you briefly tell me the difference or where that line gets fuzzy?
Well, I can give you a good example. um, so discipline with my kids. We
Hmm.
all, anybody who knows me knows that I can, as Gary said, talk about a fork for an hour, different shapes, sizes, colors, etc. I can talk about anything. Um, when I would discipline, there was two ways for me to discipline. It was over explaining, continuing to talk, um, or just yelling, just absolutely yelling. Um, to me, I thought that by me raising my voice and losing my shit, so to say, that I was actually teaching a lesson. That's a very toxic,
Hmm.
toxic masculine role, especially as a parent. Um, now I know to shorten what I have to say because the shorter it is, the more chances are that my sons are going to take in what I have to say. But being able to stay grounded and keeping myself always at the same tone is the difference between being toxic as a man and as a disciplinarian, right? As
Mhm.
men, we are supposed to fulfill that role as being disciplinarians.
Yep.
You
So
either God,
oh, you finish up. I'm sorry.
you either do it in a toxic form, which I feel like a lot of fathers do, or you keep yourself grounded.
So, and I can ask you or I can tell you, but why do you think a lot of fathers or parents, we'll stick with fathers, do it in the toxic way?
Um, well, I think a lot of fathers just lose their patience. I think that life is so demanding and something goes wrong, and men don't have those tools or those values to understand how to separate, work from home life, their personal life from their life, their time with their children, separate time with your wife. I think that life just gets thrown on men really hard nowadays and everything goes really fast. And without values and without understanding how to stay grounded with those values, I think guys just lose it
Mm.
in those areas.
So I think that with the work that I've done and what I coach now, that a lot of men, they don't have the integrity. So they say, do this, but they do this. So when the kid sees what they're doing and it's the wrong thing and they do it,
Mhm,
it pisses the father off or even the wife. If
mm,
I ask you to do this or would like for you to do this, not, I don't want to think I tell women how to do whatever, but if I ask you to do this, but I'm doing something totally different, she's going to, or the kid is going to see what I'm doing and learn by watching.
well, you
Or
get the statement from a parent at some point, right?
what
Do
was
as I
that?
say. I said, I think we've all heard the statement from a parent at one point, do what I say, not as I do.
Right. But even when it's said, it's like nobody does that. It's easy. It's easier, even with like the videos that Joel was helping you with today or the other day. You had to show me after church. You had to sit down and show me, and I kind of got a little bit. I don't know, but I'm the guy that has to see it. So you could tell me all day long to cross at the crosswalk, and then when you jaywalk and I see it, I'm like, well, must be okay. So part of the toxic masculinity is to have that integrity so that you're not toxic. So when your kids or anybody in your life steps out of line or whatever, you are a grounded man and you can, you know, punish them or discipline them is a better word in accordance to what they have done wrong.
When you have values and you have integrity, there shouldn't be much that you can do to affect my behavior, right?
Right?
Unless, of course, you hurt my family, my children, my wife, my pets, then you really shouldn't be able to affect my inner peace. So I should
Absolutely.
always be grounded where I am. So we got an answer from Sir
I
Life
saw
who
that.
wants to know. She called you while you were on the run. Answer the phone was a pain, and I was very short because it was about nothing. She was just worried I was on a long run. Huh? I uh, I can understand she gets worried if you're out there much longer, but I can also understand it's a difficult thing to answer the phone while you're out running. Absolutely.
It's like answering while you're working. I almost never do it.
So
So
yeah, now it's a tough spot because you gotta answer if you're out longer than that, and she's worried about you. I mean, you don't. I suppose you don't have to, right? But you're gonna leave her worried. That's a choice you're gonna make, or maybe just a conversation to have with her. Like, listen, honey, while I'm out on my run, it's very difficult to answer the phone. So, because you either got to make a choice there, right? Do you want to be stuck in the situation where you've got to train yourself to be able to answer that phone and be in a good mood while you're running and trying to work out, or choices, right? But
mhm,
yeah, whatever the choice is, you got to make it for yourself.
exactly. And like you said, like kids cursing because their parents curse. So my dad cursed a lot when I was a kid, and we
Mm.
were not allowed to curse. And I remember my buddy, my best friend when I was a kid growing up, we went down the corner and yelled curses out into nothing just to
Mm.
curse. Dad
Mm.
does it. It's cool.
Yep.
Um, yeah. So it's remembering that people are watching what you're doing. So,
Yeah.
and the other thing with integrity, I want to say, he goes, so I started this Daniel fast, 21 days of pretty much a Mediterranean diet. No chicken, no beef, no dairy, no sweeteners. And
No
there's
bread.
nobody in my house right now. I don't have to follow that rule, but I know God's watching. So I am following the rule. And I know God is challenging me every day. I came home yesterday from work and my daughter left a 1 pound half eaten Reese's Pieces peanut butter cup on the table.
Oh, no.
Man,
Mm.
that looked so good. And I was like, nobody's really watching me right now. But I put it
God
in a
is.
Ziploc bag and I put it away. So the other thing, speaking of religion, AJ, I was thinking that this is gonna sound terrible. I don't know what prayer it is, but forgive me, Father, for I don't know what I do. What prayer is that?
Oh yeah, to be honest, I don't know. I know what you're talking about.
Okay.
Uh, yeah.
I don't know. But anyway, so
I don't remember the exact words of the prayer, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
so many people they say this prayer, forgive me, Father, for I know not what I do. But they go out and they after they get that forgiveness, just like saying sorry, they don't fix what they did or who they are, and they go out and do it again. And I was thinking that it should be forgive me, Father, for I know exactly what I'm doing, and I'm gonna give forgiveness later.
Right.
So
Well, I think a lot of people like to fall on the fact that, well, Jesus died for our sins, right? So all's forgiven. I watched something earlier, um, and I had also had a conversation. I don't know if it was with you or not about a 74-year-old woman. Maybe it happened at church today. My brain's
yes.
off.
Yeah, you
Uh,
talking about that, yeah.
74-year-old woman that on her deathbed said to her grandchildren, um, "Don't do like I did and wait until you are on your deathbed um, to have Christ in your life." Uh,
And hold up, that prayer I just said was from the act of contrition, and my mom is on, and I want to say hello. I love you, and I'm glad that you are awake and able to join us tonight.
Good to see you, Mom. I'm happy to see you here as well. You're always in my prayers.
All right, sorry, back to your story. I just saw her name, so
Yeah, so it was, that basically was it. Like the basis was is don't wait until you're on your deathbed to ask, God to come into your life. But I think a lot of people fall on that aspect. Well, Jesus died for our sins. So
mm,
basically, I can sin as much as I want to. I just have to ask for forgiveness. I just have to repent for my sins. And honestly, that's kind of what I was taught as a kid, at the church that I went to, was that as long as, you repented for your sins, then you were okay. You went, you said your prayers, and you were all set.
mhm,
But uh, if you actually walk with Christ, then you
yeah,
know that's not how it goes.
yeah,
So there's no integrity in just asking for forgiveness all the time.
yeah. So we're gonna wrap it up in a minute, but now that we're getting to this, like, and that's not taught. I did religion class my whole childhood, um, and I did not enjoy going to that confessional to tell the priest all of my wrongs.
No.
But we were never told to fix ourselves. We were told to go do your penance, do your Our
Yeah,
Fathers, do your, whatever we had to do,
yeah,
and we were forgiven.
yeah,
Moving on, do it again.
yeah.
It's crazy, actually. I'm gonna actually make sure that when I'm talking to my daughter from now on, that when she says sorry, that she's going to have to fix the issue.
Yeah. You
So,
gotta follow through with it. It's important. It is. It
yeah,
really is. Integrity, I think, Integrity should be one of your biggest values in life if you're starting out and trying to find yourself as a person. It doesn't even have to be as a man. If you're trying to find your values, integrity, and accountability, I think should be the two most important things that show up when you try to start actually putting work into yourself. Um, if you're a grown man and you don't know for an undoubtable fact that you have integrity, uh, and you don't have accountability, then you need to stop doing work.
Yeah.
Come see Gary in North Manhattan.
Come see me. Yes, definitely. Accountability and authenticity. Those are, you got to take accountability. You have to be accountable for the things that you do wrong. You have to be honest. You have to have integrity. Those three things. You said one more. I can't remember what it was.
No, accountability and integrity.
Accountability, integrity, and I threw in authenticity. Those three right there. I think I actually know that those are the pillars that will allow you to become not only the man you want to become, but the person. So if you're a woman, you have
Yeah,
those three going on, and you will be an incredible person.
yeah.
So
That was how I started. I started with accountability. Accountability was the forefront of everything I needed to work on in the beginning. And then integrity hit, right? Because now I have accountability for the things that I've done wrong. I have accountability for, my placement in every situation. But now I need integrity so that when nobody's watching, I'm still holding myself accountable for the things
yep,
that I do.
absolutely. So and Joel says, "Funny, not funny." Would catch myself confessing the same thing most of the time.
Yeah,
You're right there with all of us, brother.
that's
So
right, Matt. You can't have one without the other. It's what it's about. It really is. You're absolutely
absolutely.
right, brother.
So, all right. So before we wrap this up, I want to let you guys know that I'll be going live for the next 14 days on TikTok. We're going to shoot for 7:30, 8 o'clock at night, as I don't want to get in the way of Cliff or anybody else. So, and I'm going to be discussing pretty much Northman coaching, where it started, with the Oak values, where what it's morphed into, and all the little stepping stones and fallbacks along the way. So tune in TikTok. I'll nail down a time by tomorrow, but 7:30 or 8 o'clock, depending on how bad the post office works me.
I'm gonna add this in, Cliff. I think it's great that you challenge Gary on that. I'm sure I'll laugh at myself later for making this statement, but I think that's amazing, Cliff. I think that was a great challenge, and I love every second of it. It's gonna help Gary to keep getting on and get himself back out there.
Mm,
Help Gary get back out there. Sorry, just said it wrong.
all good. All right, gentlemen. Everybody have a good night, or gentlemen, ladies, mom,
And
have a good
gentlemen,
night. And thank you guys for being here. And we'll see you guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow, and we will see you again next week. All right. Have
have
a
a
good
great
night,
week,
guys.
guys. Good night.